Was going to make this a series on TikTok, but I don't think it'll be able to take the amount of bullshit. So, hi YouTube, how you doing? It's been a while. I'm gonna expose my Catholic high school, SMT, Mother Teresa. So, what's good to say about them? Not much. They had a pride club, which good on them. But that's about it. Some teachers were nice, like the music teacher's nice, one of the religion teachers was nice, one of the art teachers was nice, but that's about it. Everyone else was just a fucking piece of shit. Well, okay, some of the French teachers were pretty decent. I went to school there from between grade 7 and around grade 11. 7, 11. Anyway, let's just say it was a shit show. An absolute fucking shit show. So, from grade 7 to like grade 9, everything was good and dandy. Everything was fine. Excuse me. Until my guidance counselor left. She got promoted to go to the board, which, honestly, congrats on her. Like, she's amazing. Anyone would be stupid. Like, they'd be stupid not to give her a promotion. She was great. And I'm so happy for her. But the moment she left, everything went to shit. Including my mental health. So whenever I used to have an anxiety attack, I would go and sit in the little guidance counselor room until I've cleared my mind and taken a breath, and she would have let me. She was like, you can go to class as soon as you feel better. Normally I'd wait until second period came around, because then it looked like I had just gotten in and nobody would ask questions of why I was late. And that was the perfect option for me. But as soon as she left, a new guidance counselor came. She was a teacher at the school who just happened to become my guidance counselor. And let me just tell you, she was way better as a teacher. She was shit at being a guidance counselor. She made everything worse. She made everything harder. I have a lot of disabilities. I have ADHD, nonverbal learning disability, anxiety, both social, generalized, and separation, depression, PTSD, many more, but they don't involve in this story. And when the new guidance counselor came, I was no longer allowed to sit in that room and wait until second period. If I was having an anxiety attack, I'd have to leave. She made things complicated. And I honestly think that's where it went to shit. I remember in, I think it was either grade 9 or grade 10, we had to do the literacy test, which, if you don't know, is a big, giant English test that you have to do in order to pass the grade. And my resource room teacher, which is the place that you can go for quiet if you have an IEP, individual learning plan, individual education plan, mainly made for people with ADHD, stuff like that. It also means that I got extra time on the test if I needed it. Anyway, my resource room teacher, my guidance counselor, which I think was maybe the nice one at the time, I don't know, it was a really long time ago, my mom, and the psychiatrist that diagnosed me. Well, something like that. It was psychologist. She was a psychologist, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so they were talking about how they thought that I shouldn't even do the literacy test because they were sure I was not going to pass it. The day of the literacy test came, and I was one of the best scoring ones. And they were shocked. They had no hope in me. They had no faith that I could do it. Granted, this is a Catholic school. Mother Teresa, she was a kind lady. Her story inspires me. She cared for people that suffered from leprosy, which is a disease that can kill you. I don't know the full length of it, but it's highly contagious. But she did not care. She helped these people. She fed these people. She bathed these people because that was the kindness that she had in her heart. This school does not have that kindness. And it has gotten only shittier since I left. When I passed the literacy test, people were shocked. They were like, how Caitlin can do this? How, this is weird. She shouldn't have been able to pass this without the extended time that she has. I finished it with flying colors. And that's not even a joke. I did not need that extra time. I was out before some really smart people in my class. I did not need the extra time. I told them I wanted to do it because I believed in myself. My teachers did not believe in me at all. Now that's one thing. Teachers cannot believe in you. That's fine. Whatever. But then there are the other times where the teachers knew I had an anxiety disorder, where if you called me out in class, I'd get a full-blown anxiety attack because it felt like I was being picked on. It felt that if I didn't raise my hand, it sounded like you were asking me to do something stupid. Because I felt stupid if I did not know the answer. Because that's what anxiety does to you. That's what social anxiety does to you. It makes you feel stupid. I had to take art for an elective, and I was like, this would be great. The teacher did not give a shit. Granted, he was mean to everyone. But he picked me out of the class, said, Caitlin, can you come out into the hall with me? Which one? Already a bad idea. If you want to do that, you have to come up to my desk personally and say, hey, Caitlin, can we please talk outside? Whatever. Come up to me. Do not point me out in class and tell me to come outside with you, because then that looks like, oh, what did Caitlin do? She must have done something wrong. Oh my God, she's probably doing something stupid. That's not okay. Read my IEP. That's all I ask of you. So he brings me out into the hall, and he's asking me these questions are you okay? You look upset. Do you need to take a walk? Which, granted, good for him. But also, I was not okay. Because you had purposely taken me out of the class. You had picked on me in the class. Downright being a damn jerk to me through the entire class. You did not read my IEP, which is labeled under my name in the attendance. When people have an allergy, people look at it because it has a bright thing. When people have an IEP, it does the same shit, just a different notification. Beside my name, there is something there. If someone has an EpiPen, people abide by it because it has a little thing there that tells you that they have an EpiPen, that they are allergic to something. People listen to that. When you have an IEP, no one cares. They do not care. At all. Anyway. Skip forward to maybe grade 10, grade 11, around the time that I was about to leave, because I had enough of this bullshit. I had left so many times. I was rarely coming to school. I barely came to school. But I have other stories. This video isn't just about me, but I'm gonna do my story first. So, whole life had been shit at this school. And then finally, I was in grade 10 and I had just come back feeling like I could do this, hyping myself up. Me and my mom were so excited because I had finally gotten a chance to be like, I can do this. Come back. There's a new principal, new vice principal. And she's new. Just like that art teacher didn't look at the fact that it says my IEP. If you want to call me down to the office, you call the classroom's phone. The teacher comes up to me, whispers to me that the principal wants to see me. No. This is what she did. Which, by the way, I was already getting bullied by the fact that I was 2 grades behind other people. I was taking an art class that was 2 grades below my actual grade. These people that were like 2 or 3 years younger than me were making fun of me because I was in their classroom. Not to mention people in my actual grade were making fun of me because I was in a classroom that, man. So, they called me down to the office on the intercom. On the thing that announces to everyone, Caitlin Aldridge, can you please come down to the office? That is Caitlin Aldridge, please come down to the office. I heard that. I looked up, looked around to see if anyone else heard that. I look at my teacher and I say, and she's like, yeah, go. So, go out. There's a bathroom right there. I go into it. I clean off my tears because at this point I am terrified. Sorry. It doesn't sound like a big deal if you don't have the social anxiety. It doesn't sound like a big deal if you've never had your bullying turn into a social anxiety disorder. But if you have, you understand why I'm upset right now. I texted my mom before I went to the office. I said, Mom, they just called me down on the speaker, the one that broadcasts everyone. And she's like, do you want me to come pick you up? And I'm like, no, I got this. I'm fine. So I went to the office. This fucking principal. I still hate her to this day. I'll just call her Miss K. For those that went to the school will understand exactly who I'm talking about. Vice Principal, Miss K. Okay. So, Miss K called me down. She's like, Caitlin? I'm like, yeah, me. She follows me into her room. Still have some tears in my eyes, but I'm putting on a brave face because I don't want to start this shit. She sits me down and says, hi, I'm Miss K. And I wanted to introduce myself. I'm the new vice principal for the letters. I think we had them capitalized. It was like A to G or A to J or something like that. Yeah, like A to G, I'm pretty sure. And I want to talk to you about why you've missed so much school. And I told her, I don't remember much from that experience, Probably because I was freaking out the entire goddamn time. She's like, I noticed that you don't come to school a lot and I want to know why. So I told her, I'm pretty sure I told her I have social anxiety disorder. Or I have anxiety disorder, so I'm not here a lot. But like I've tried recently to come more often. Skip to the end of the day. I told my mom what had happened. And her being pissed is an understatement. She called the principal. And she went full mama bear on her. Saying, basically, so my mom doesn't really swear. But I almost remember this like it was yesterday. Basically saying, so I was saying all calm, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm Caitlin's mother, and I heard you called her down today, and, what the fuck did you do? Pretty much like that. She said, do you know how long it has taken us to bring her back to school, and you just unraveled it? She has anxiety disorder, you can see it in her fucking IEP. What you did is gonna make it so traumatizing for her to go back. Why the fuck would you do that? Why didn't you look at her fucking IEP? Pretty much calling her a moron. Which, thank you, Mom, I love you. And not to mention there was a lot of other shit. Like, I once had a person, so I was dating a girl at this time. This was like grade 9 or 10. I just remembered it. So I was having a bit of social, what was it called? Cyberbullying, there we go. From a girl in our class. Or maybe her account may have gotten hacked, because I brought it up a couple years ago and she said it never happened, so I don't know. Basically, dating a girl, and this girl on Instagram pretty much calls me the F word. F-A-G. Because I'm dating a girl. How it's disgusting, how I should go off myself. Pretty much. And so I bring it up with the principal. Miss K, yeah. So, well, this is the fun part. So, I bring it up to her. I tell her who the student is. And you want to know what she said? She said, maybe you should delete your Instagram account. I'm sorry. That's what you're going to say? I'm being harassed by homophobic comments by a girl in my class. And you're telling me to delete my Instagram? Let me just tell you, this girl had no repercussions. She had no consequences for calling me a homo or a FAG. And sorry, I thought I heard someone. So it was fucking pathetic, that's all. All through my life at that school was nothing but hell. It was the worst experience, and I don't want to bring that on anyone. I eventually did leave the school for good. But you do not understand what it feels like to be called stupid by your teachers. Not only your peers, but your teacher. Your teachers. A home away from home. A place that's supposed to make you feel safe. It was hell. When people say school is hell, that doesn't even cover the surface of what Mother Teresa did to me. Later on, I learned that they didn't. I have a friend that also went there that had anxiety disorder. They didn't care either about hers. It was in her IEP. She wasn't fully diagnosed at the time, but she was having symptoms of it. And they didn't care. A friend of mine, she goes there, so does her little brother. He also has an IEP. He's supposed to get extra time on a test because he has a disability, a learning disability. They don't give it to him. And that's wrong. I've expressed my opinions about this school before on their Google page. It is literally the worst school. One of my friends was afraid to go home one day because her dad was not a good person, if you understand what I mean. I stuck with her the entire day, pretty much protecting her. It was one of my last days at the school because I was not dealing with this fucking shit anymore. So I stuck around her pretty much the whole day. Anytime someone asked why I wasn't in my classroom, I'd say, oh, just out here with somebody, I'm like taking a break, whatever. At some point, someone said, Caitlin, get to class, and I said no. And they said, I'm going to tell the principal, and I'm like, go ahead. I don't care. And like, they can't put your hands on me, so like, sucks to be you. Eventually it comes to the end of the day, and my friend needs to confront the office about how she feels. So she goes in there, and you wanna know what the fucking office did? They called her dad, saying that they were gonna call CAS, but they called her fucking dad instead. She was a minor. And it's fucking pathetic. She told them that she was feeling unsafe at home. How her dad was an awful person. And they did not care. They called her dad, and I looked at her as she was leaving. She came to say goodbye to me, hugged me. I said, what happened? She said, they called my dad. And I'm like, oh my God. So she came over, she hugged me, she had tears in her eyes, and then she had to go with her dad. This school is fucking disgusting. It shouldn't even be called a school. With the amount of shit they get away with, it's not even funny anymore. This school needs to be disbanded, burned down, who the fuck knows? If you want info on this school, search up like chemical explosion, Mother Teresa, and you'll find it. In like 2009 or 2008, they had a chemical explosion that killed 3 people, I think. And honestly, I felt like that was like God's warning, pretty much saying this school is fucked up. And pretty much the reason why it took me so long to find my faith is because of that school. They made me not want to like God. They made me not want to like anything. every time I was there, I was getting clearly bullied and no one gave a shit. They just turned the blind eye. Said nothing's going on here, nothing's wrong. They were supposed to be helpful. They were supposed to be home away from home. But no. When someone has a disability, you help them. You ask them, what can I do to help? You don't sit there and belittle them like they're a fucking child. That's not what you do. That's not okay. And you would think that professionals, aka teachers, would be trained in something as simple as knowing when to help. You could have come up to me anytime and said, Caitlin, is there anything I can do to make your experience better? And you didn't. You fucking failed. I'm not graduated. I haven't graduated yet. It's half my fault, but it's also half theirs. If they gave me the right education, if they fucking cared about me, they would have helped. They would have done better. The only good thing I had at that school was my boyfriend at the time and my best friend. And that was it. I had a few friends here and there. But everything they did, and they hide behind smiles, they hide behind lies. You can say, oh, I remember you in high school and you weren't being bullied. You can say that all you want or whatever. Some of you know you fucked up. When I had my PTSD encounter, I was going to that school at the time. And the encounter happened at the school, at the park right in front of it. Half the time I felt I could see him. Some days I'd walk up to the door about to go in, and then I'd have an anxiety attack of, what if I see him? Or, what if my mom drives home and gets into an accident? When I was starting grade 7, my dad had been diagnosed with colon cancer, which is what this thing is, by the way. He was stage 4. He lived, but I did not go and see him. I was terrified of, what if this is the last day I see my dad? I was 12, 13, whatever. Sorry, it happened 6th grade, not that day. 5th or 6th grade. I was 12. Things just started to go downhill from there. Because when I started grade 7 or grade 8, anxiety like that doesn't just go away because the problem is solved. My dad is fine now. He was fine for a while, but every time I try to go into Mother Teresa, I'd go for the door and then the anxiety would strike. Keep in mind, I was on meds at this time. Clearly they were fucky, but that's what you get for having a good old anxiety. It was, I just don't understand why this school is still allowed to be a school. Not to mention with Corona, I don't know how many cases they've had at the school. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't keeping up with the keep a mask on at all times, keep the classrooms to a small amount. I wouldn't be surprised if they were fucking up that, because they fucked everything else up. They ask me why I'm leaving. Hell, I tried to get into another school that is meant for people that are like me. School where disabilities are normal. They kept denying me because they thought Mother Teresa was such a good school. Their exact words were, "We did not allow you in because we thought Mother Teresa had done everything." They should have. They fucking should have. I can't just blame them on the fact that I'm not graduated. It's 50-50. 50's on me, 50's on them. Because if they had just tried to look at my IEP once in blue moon, they'd know not to fucking do this shit. But they did it anyway. It's such a fucked up school, and I don't understand why it's still there, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened to other people. If you went to the school, tell me about your experience in the comments. And tell me if you agree with me that we need to burn this fucker down. Or at least disband it. It's not a safe place. It's not a safe space. I am disgusted with the fact that they use Mother Teresa's name in vain. She was such a good person, and they are not. Going into that place every day was a hell. It was a nightmare. It was an anxiety attack waiting to happen. And I honestly hope you don't send your kids there. No one deserves to go to that fucking school, especially if they have disabilities. Because if they have disabilities, I guarantee you that the people will not give a fuck. I guarantee you that if your child has disabilities and you send them there, the teachers, the principals, no one will care. The secretaries were my friend. The secretary people were very nice. But that's it. I used to go in and compliment them every day. They were nice. Everyone else was just horrible. And it sucks to say that I was bullied by my teachers. Because teachers are supposed to be nice. They weren't. And that's pathetic, to say the least. Well, this is my story. Fuck Mother Teresa. Fuck St. Mother Teresa High School. It blows my mind how a school that has her name in it could be so bad. But it was. So, if you had similar experiences, whether at the school or at a different school, put it in the comments below. Share. Whatever. Get the word out. Use hashtag St. Mother Teresa sucks. Use hashtag burn it down. You can do hashtag SMT. Whatever. You know, now when I see people with the hoodies of Mother Teresa on it or SMT, whatever, I honestly hope that the school has gotten better for their sakes. For the students' sakes. Because if they haven't, I know exactly there is someone there that feels the exact same way I do. And I feel for them. They are doing, there's no mistake. There's no remorse. There's no guilt. They just need to be better, and they're not. Hashtag burn it down.